Mike Bohn here in Washington with Daniel Cormier, who is, what's the latest, man? I mean, what are these talks? I know Dana came out and did some media this week and basically saying you and Stipe have verbally agreed to fight. We just don't know when or where, any of that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. It's the only fight I want to stick around for at this point. I think Stipe and I have a fantastic rivalry. I won the first fight in tremendous fashion. He won the second fight in tremendous fashion. So I feel like we've had the first two stages. We've had the first two acts in a three-act play, a three-act drama. And we have to do the trilogy fight. And eventually we're going to do that. I feel like the more time I get away from last year's back surgery, the better I feel, and I'm starting to really feel like myself now.
Yeah, so are you ready to go as soon as possible? As soon as he's ready, you're ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to go, but he's the champ. He's the champ. He makes the rules. So I'm on standby, and I'm waiting to see when this guy says that we're going to fight. And when he does, I'll be prepared. I'll be ready, even more prepared than the last time, because I feel like I can prepare better from the very start right now.
Are you willing to wait basically as long as it takes? I mean, obviously he's recovering from this eye injury, and say he has a setback or something, who knows? Are you basically going to wait as long as you need to and to make this fight happen?
Right now there's no time for us to fight until maybe June. The way the UFC quarterly schedule's looking, with the UFC essentially with them announcing Tony and Habib for April, there's really no time, so we're going to be waiting a little bit anyways, but it's tricky, because I would like it to happen sooner than later. That's all I would like to say, but again, the further I get away from this surgery, the better I'll be. They told me when I did it, after about a year is when I would start to really feel everything was back in order, and I'm starting to feel that now, for sure.
What about him saying he wants to box Tyson Fury? Is this just him kind of maybe trolling a little bit?
I think, after all that was done last year when I was going to fight Brock Lesnar, and I said, I'll wait for Lesnar, and if Lesnar can't go, then I'll fight Stipe. I think it's kind of the same thing, but reality is it's vastly different. I think it's misguided. I had Lesnar in my face. He came into the octagon and all that. And the moment, I got to be honest with you, the moment that they said Brock can't fight, I said, then let's give Stipe his fight. The moment they said it, I said, okay, find a date for Stipe and I to fight. He deserves his rematch. So I think the idea of the way things happen might have been a little bit misunderstood, but it went exactly as I said. From the moment of the fight, I said, if Brock doesn't fight, I'll fight Stipe. And when they said no Brock, I said, okay, time to fight Stipe.
He's going to be the first fighter in UFC history to fight the same opponent 3 times in a row. How do you think that affects him mentally? He's going to be spending more than 2 years of his life preparing for you, thinking about all that. It's kind of crazy.
Well, but I had that Derek Lewis stop in between, but I didn't even get to train for that. I fought on 3 weeks. So we're pretty much in the same situation. I think what's great for me is that in 5 rounds of fighting, I've won the vast majority of those rounds. That's what feels good for me in my preparation. There are some things I need to change. Obviously, he did a great job of adjusting and punching me in the body last time, and that's what ultimately won him the fight. But I've already started to take the steps to try to improve that. I've got a new guy. I'm working with George Foreman.
I was just about to ask that.
And he's showing me some tips to help with the boxing, because the reality is it's all boxing. Stipe isn't kicking me very much. He's punching and I'm punching and wrestling. I've started to work on some things to try to shore up that issue that caused me so much problems last time.
Yeah, and I know, this is a very selfish game. You worry about winning this next fight, but assuming you do win and then it sounds like you're going to retire, where does that leave the heavyweight division? Is that something you thought about at all? The place you're going to be leaving this weight class if you win, retire, and then, vacate the belt?
I have done a lot of good work in the UFC, and if them even thinking that it's my last fight and allowing me to fight in that position shows good favor, right? So obviously they have a plan in place for what happens after I win my belt back, because I'm going to win the last fight. and then I'll have the championship. But the reality is they trust me enough in my decision making to give me that opportunity, and trust enough of the good work I've done in and for this company to allow me to have this opportunity. So I feel great.
Awesome, man. Well, very much looking forward to this trilogy. I think we're all just waiting for this thing to get booked and signed and see you in there one last time, man. Really appreciate you taking some time.
No problem, Mike. Thank you. Awesome. Nice to see you.